what do you have to say about the way this group just handles and battles against anything coming their way, adversity per se?
I thought, even though like we didn't play in the first half with as much teeth, defensively as we have been playing, like the guys that came off the bench from Jalen to Jo, of course, started for us, but those guys who hadn't really played, they really came out and played well for us. We got really good minutes from our bench tonight, as well as everybody needing to step up. So I think that obviously it was key. And then the second half, the defense got a lot better, and then that was what allowed us to turn the game around.
Josh Okogie starting tonight. When you talk about the defense, how key was he in that tonight? Yeah,
I mean, just containing the ball was big. All we talked about at halftime really was sitting down and guarding, and they were putting their head down and driving us. And even a little bit in the second half, they were doing it too. But once we got the ball under control, and he's really good at the point of attack. But I thought in the second half, everybody really stepped up on the ball.
Chris, you said, I think before the game that you'd seen pretty much everything you thought people could throw at you offensively or defensively against Karl. Did the team get a little flummoxed early with what they were doing, and how did you try to kind of navigate and figure that out?
Well, I mean, we've seen this a little before. Guard them with a small and then bring the 5 over top. Anywhere you can. I think what bothered us more than anything was the zone. We started with a pretty good rhythm offensively. Then the zone, we missed a bunch of shots and we got static out there, and then and then we finally kind of figured a little bit of rhythm there. But yeah, so I just didn't like, we were just kind of sluggish in the first half in general. But I don't know if it was the different looks they kept throwing at us or just, kind of being a little tired.
Do you take some heart in the fact that they were able to kind of grind this one out when it wasn't easy for them, and this is maybe a game a year ago or even sooner that they would have let go of the rope?
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is through all the good things that we did do, I don't think it was overall a great performance by us, and we still managed to win. So, we did enough of the right things at the right times, and overall in the second half, our defense was on point. So.
And Jalen, in particular, in that first half, what did you think he gave you just in again, going to a guy that had not?
Yeah, solid defensively. Got out in transition, gave us another handler, shooting threat out there, did a good job. Didn't try to impose himself too much on the game. I was happy with his defense.
Again, can you talk a little bit just about the grit of the team? I mean, the last 3 wins are wins, I think, that this team might not have had last year, given what transpired. You gave up a 20-point lead in Philly, didn't quit. Tonight, you had a 9-point lead disappear, and you responded. What is this team learning about what it takes to win?
Well, I think a couple things. One is, if you play defense, you're always going to have a chance. And we've really decided that's what we wanted to do coming into this season, and guys are doing it. A 20-point lead in the league anymore is really, it feels awful when you lose one. I'll tell you that. But it's with the shooting and the variation the variance that goes on around the shooting, 20 points is nothing. So you just got to keep playing, whether you're up or down 20. But yeah, guys are tough. We guys, they believe that we can play and beat anybody, and I think we've shown that regardless of what the circumstances are. We just have to keep doing it every night. Our problem is sometimes, as a young team, we aren't always there mentally, and we have to get dialed back in and be a little more businesslike in our approach sometimes.
Now it's like plus 20 in 23 minutes tonight. What does it mean to this team when Karl can get in foul trouble and it doesn't doom you?
Yeah. Well, it's a huge asset. And the thing with Nas, which makes it so great, is we don't have to change how we play. He comes in, he plays very similar to Cat, but he gives us probably a little bit more of a role threat, maybe not quite the shooting. And he just played with a lot of force, played very, very decisive, played with a lot of force. That's something we've been asked him to do, is play a little bit more with more force. And he came in at the right time and kind of sparked us when we absolutely needed it most too.
And why do zones work in the NBA, do you think? Because it does seem like the teams get open shots against them. Yeah. They just don't fall.
It affects your rhythm. It's literally this, you don't get the same shots in the same rhythm that you practice all the time. And guys see his zone and they tend to freeze up a little bit. And, they're probably not seen a lot of zone. Like a lot of these guys spent 1 year in college and that's it, and so zone offenses tend to be in college. They're real long and, pattern oriented. We don't have the time to do that here in the league. So it's literally just that simple. I think guys just freeze and then you miss a couple and now you get tight. Most people, if you make a couple, get right out of their zone. But I don't think it's anything more than that.
You see D'Lo again tonight. I mean, you guys have a closer that not only wants the ball, but generally puts it in, at least lately. 11-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, 8 rebounds. Not somebody you have to hide quite as much on defense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any aspect of his game you think that could be improved right now?
Not really. He's playing at a super high level. All aspects of the game. He's even in there boxing out, and he wants the ball at the end. He's got great confidence. He's going to make shots. He's in a heck of a groove right now. Doesn't matter the coverage. He's seen it always really good, got an answer for it. And it just gives us that calming effect too. That's the thing that's important at that time. So
I don't know if we noticed this in the past, but have you really seen him step up and really kind of take ownership and leadership of this team? Like we see it defensively everywhere, even on the bench.
Yeah, he's been extremely vocal, just with his teammates in the game, on the bench, in the locker room. He's definitely he's pretty experienced now in the league. He's seen a lot, and he understands what we're trying to do out there. So he's got a good feel for it all, and he's able to quarterback it from different places on the floor.
We'll go to 2 questions on the Zoom, Lucas and then Leonardo. Lucas, go ahead.
Coach, it seemed like, Ant kind of got off to a very slow start tonight. But then once he kind of, got going, that's when the team really kind of took the lead that he ultimately wouldn't give up. What does it kind of take, I guess, for a second-year player to be able to take those struggles at the beginning and not let it impact him game long and ultimately, become a positive force of change in the game?
Well, that was a very, very typical Ant game. He has these moments. I've said that before. He has an unbelievable sense of timing to make big plays when you need it most, both defensively. Oftentimes it starts on the defense end. He gets steals, and then he gets out in transition, gets an easy one. Then he feels confident. Then he knocks down a 3, and he strings them together. We know he's up. I refer to him as a home run hitter. He's up there, and home run hitters aren't afraid to strike out. I thought he was getting frustrated with his finishing, just wasn't going in. Love that he kept attacking the basket anyway. And, when he's doing that, whether it's going or not, I know it's frustrating when it's not going in, but he's got the right mindset. So, he was awesome in that third quarter, and I was going to roll with him to start the fourth, but he was too tired, so he needed a break, which is understandable. So.
We'll go to the last question to Leonardo. Leonardo, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Congrats on the win. Coach, Leandro Bolmaro had good defensive possessions. How important will it be for him to maintain that level to gain minutes in the rotation?
Can you repeat that one more time, Leonardo?
Okay. Leandro Bolmaro had good defensive possessions. How important will it be for him to maintain that level to gain minutes in the rotation?
Defense.
He had good possessions tonight. How does he maintain that to keep minutes in the rotation?
Yeah, he's. I thought again he's in there to just kind of play some defense and help facilitate some offense, and he did a good job there. I thought he could have been a little bit better at times on the ball, but he's learning. He's got to learn these guys. They're learning these player tendencies that he's guarding. He's going to take some tough matchups every night. We love the fact that he's not afraid of that. And, his role will be pretty much as you see it. Sometimes it'll be 3 minutes. Sometimes it could be 7. And that's how he's just going to have to get his feet wet in the league right now. But he has every confidence in himself, and we do as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Karl, last few games in particular seemed like ones that maybe in the past this team wouldn't have had the resolve to kind of grind through and finish it out. What do you think it says about the growth you guys are doing to be able to do what you guys did tonight?
Just great discipline. I thought that we felt that before the game. We kind of had that like Charlotte vibe, energy, kind of too loose. I think the first half stats prove it. We didn't play to our identity. And we came in at halftime and we turned up. We played the way we know we were supposed to. 41 points in the second half is nothing to laugh at against a good team. So, you know, the difference between this game and Charlotte is that we actually made the turnaround. We actually made the adjustment, turned it up, and played Wolves basketball.
What was giving you guys so many problems offensively in the first half? Were they doing anything defensively? Was it shot making? What made it so sluggish?
Honestly, for me, from what I was seeing, I was very surprised about the zone. The zone was very different than what we were prepared for. I think they caught us off guard a little bit. I also think that our energy wasn't matching what it needed to be. We were letting them stay in the game. We weren't playing the way we were supposed to, look a little flat. And, I think we did a great job coming out in the second half with that energy, that spark, commanding the game, and did a much better job in the second half, and why we came out with a good win.
So Finch kind of was rotating in all sorts of different looks and lineups, trying to get something to find. Is what have you learned about what he does to help you guys when things aren't going well?
He just puts us in good position. He puts us in good position and trusts us to make the plays. So, Finch is doing a great job, obviously. The coaching staff as a whole is doing an amazing job. And I'm very proud of the guys for being so receptive and receiving the message and the game plan and executing it at a high rate.
Karl, have you felt that just decisiveness for you on the catch is the best way to kind of counter those zones and those different weird looks? It seemed like that was the way where you really got going, and that was the second quarter there is just a quick decision on the catch.
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, I think the zone, even for me, caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. And early on in the game, the first quarter, I was catching the ball in the middle. The person in the middle who catches the ball in the zone is the playmaker. And I was just consistently seeing that, I had a shot, but we had an even better shot in the wings and the corners. It was wide open threes that with people who shoot those at a high rate and a high clip. So I was trying to make the right play. I was feeling the game out for real. And when I could see that, it was kind of like the energy wasn't there from all of us. It was a little tentative about shooting that three when you catch it. Just decided to take matters in my own hands and be very aggressive when I catch the ball in the middle and just try to punish them on my size.
Can you just talk about the contributions of Naz and Josh? Josh in particular, defensively, he basically got one guy thrown out of the game, and he had that huge block late.
Josh made a huge impact. If you really want to think about it, he won us the game. That block was huge. That block gave us the whole game and gave us a chance to really put it away. And without that block, I don't know if we'll win this game. And Naz was just fantastic. Came in the game ready to go, 5 for 7. Was very efficient and made some really good moves and made some great plays that the stat sheet doesn't pick up.
Some defenses seem to give up open shots almost every time, but does it just kind of create mental warfare for the offense?
Yeah, I think it's more deflating when you miss a shot that they're telling you to take and you just cannot make it. I think it's one of the most deflating things. Me and KG used to talk about that. It's one of those things, I think we've all seen KG play here when someone can't shoot and he just turns his back and looks at the rim and lets them shoot a three and they airball it or miss it and he just starts chirping at them. It's very deflating. So I think it is a sign of mental warfare, but I also think it's a game plan that they, with the talent we have on our team, they're trying to say we're going to give that up instead of this and try to take advantage of it.
Talk about flipping the switch in the second half. How do you start that? How do you inspire that to make sure that the light actually comes on?
I think one way is to do it your damn self. So I just went out there and tried to do it myself as well. So being real aggressive, getting downhill, making plays, just trying to score. keep us, like, give us energy. You know, I think when you see the ball fall through the hoop a little bit, regardless if you're the one shooting it or not, if you truly are a teammate for everyone, I think it energizes everyone when we're scoring. And we're showing that we could start the rally of blowing them out or taking the game over or taking a commanding lead.
It seemed like in the first few weeks of the season when your defense was really carrying your offense and your offense was slipping, there were four guys that really provided an extraordinary amount of energy: Pat Bev, Vando, McDaniels, and Josh. And three of those guys weren't there tonight. When you know, and was that part of the reason you think that, you know, maybe it was harder to get unraveled in the first half? And how do you compensate, or how does a team, do you revert to your, you know, schemes and systems and just bear down a little bit more when you don't have a McDaniels or you don't have a Vando getting those offensive rebounds? How does that adjustment happen?
Well, I think it's a great question because it's a question we wanted to have answered tonight as well. When you're missing some of your most energetic and defensive-minded players, it's up to all of us to pick up the pieces. And we're not playing a team that is going to do us any favors with the team they have and the offense they could create. So for us, it was about bringing the energy, but also you know, sticking to our game plan and being disciplined. Like I said, I think it started at shoot-around. I think we kind of felt we had a lot of confidence again and didn't want it to turn into arrogance like Charlotte. So just, you know, all the older guys were always just trying to explain to everyone that we don't want to have the same vibe. You know, we called it out this time instead of just letting it play out. And I think it helped because we said it again on the bench when we started the game with that energy. Second quarter wasn't much better for us. But when we came in at halftime, we really, you know, drilled home about how important the energy we come out with and that nothing's going to ever be given to us. We got to go take it. And I think in the third quarter, we did that with a 19-30 quarter, 41 points in the second half. But I don't think this game was won because we got lucky. We went out and took the win.
We'll go last question to Christos on the Zoom.
Hey, Karl, congratulations on the win. Those wins against the Pacers, against the Sixers 2 days ago, do you feel that you built a playoff caliber team with those? And about your character as a team, you create a playoff team from your perspective?
Well, we have the confidence of a playoff team. I think at the end of the day, we have to prove it. So I'm not here to say anything like that. I'm here to say that every single day, if we play Wolves basketball, play to our identity and our standards, I think we have ourselves a great chance to make the playoffs. We just have to be consistent, be disciplined, and we got to stay to buying into each other. If we continue to sacrifice and buy into what we're trying to sell, which is the ultimate goal is winning, I think everyone's going to find themselves in greener pastures.
Thank you, Karl.
D'Angelo, this game, it looked like it was a grind. Like you guys had to really kind of find your way through it. I mean, how much growth does you think it shows as a group that you're able to work through a game when it's not all going your way and come out on the other side the way you did?
It's just a different way of adversity for us. I think it's good. The more adversity we have, you know, throughout these games versus beating the hell out of teams, I think it prepares us for the next one, you know, prepares us for those moments. So I like this one for us. Good defensive game all the way around.
How do you feel the way that you're kind of dissecting defenses, you know, getting the offense running the way that you want it to and having control of the game, even if you're not going for 35?
I mean, I feel like it's my job, you know, get the ball to the open guy. You know, Cat's a heck of a passer. And he's a goer, you know. I mean, he can pass, but that's not really what he's looking to do. So I try to, you know, take the back seat to that and keep the ball, you know, moving and things like that.
We saw kind of coach really rotating guys in early on, trying to find the right combination. Just, you've spoken highly about what you've seen from him this season, but what's it like to be in a game with him and kind of being together when he's Finch? Him trying to kind of figure it out with you guys and find the right combinations to be successful.
He's super poised in those situations. His coaching staff does a great job too of supporting him and you know, giving him ideas. And he's a player's coach too, so he runs with it. If one of us says, you know, something we're feeling or whatnot, he'll fill it out and give us a chance. So I mean, you can't ask for nothing better than that.
You've quarterbacked the offense for a long time. It seems like you've really been quarterbacking the defense of late too. Is that something you try to do as Pat Bev went out, or is that just kind of a natural progression? Really, like We saw like, the Philly, there was a lot of clips of like you calling out, hey, you're down here, you're doing this, you're doing this. Like, is that something you've done a lot of and maybe we just haven't heard it, or is that something that's come on more lately?
I wasn't listening. No, I'm just playing. No, I mean, honestly, when I went to Golden State, I seen how I got to be a sponge to Draymond, Steph, and Clay, and all those dudes. And I seen how they carried themselves. And it's a reason that they're winning just from, them being them. But Draymond was that, he was vocal. He was always helping one another. If he was guarding the best player on the floor, he still helped, elsewhere. He never treated anybody like they were like, I got to deny this guy, There's only a few of those in the league, but if he's not guarding one, even if he is, he's still there and he's helping and you hear his voice. It gives guys that are on the ball confidence. It gives guys that are, low, that their next rotation. And like I said, I'm just a fan of the game, so I try to voice it. A lot of people voice stuff on the court during the games. And I appreciate y'all recognizing it now.
We've seen past Wolves teams, before you got here, like that didn't exist as much. Just how much of a difference does that make for players? Like, what can you notice with your teammates? Like you talked about, not a lot of guys do that. How much does that help everybody and maybe just help the cohesion where everybody does know where they're supposed to be and where everybody else is as well?
I mean, you got to be credible too. I mean, I don't know if I'm credible, but it works, but it just gives guys confidence. We got a young team, so when they hear my voice saying something, I watch a lot of basketball, so I try to, make things easier when I'm the guy that's low and I see things, happen. If it may be a stack action or if we're doubling in the post or things like that. I just try to, keep guys alert and they hear my voice and it's working, so.
You're boxing out more this season than you have in previous seasons, it seems. And it seems like this team is using its defense to leverage its offense. Do you feel that way about your own game right now? Are you using your defense to leverage your offense?
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, it makes the game easier for us. When we make a run and we're scoring the ball at a high pace offensively, but when we get stops and score in transition, it makes us that much more exciting. And guys don't have to work to get loose, like if Cat's running on a defensive stop and we're running in transition and he gets a layup, that makes him feel better and gets a dunk and, gets involved with the crowd. It makes guys feel, little Ant Bees hits a three in transition off a stop, things like that. It carries the game, brings a different energy to the game. And I said last game too, nobody wants to be that guy, to get scored on. And I'm taking pride in it. I watched in the playoffs, teams bring, the worst defender up and attack them all night. Bring me up if you want to. See how that goes. And I'm confident in my defensive ability. So,
in terms of the evolution of this team's defense this year, I mean, you guys were, when Finch came, the defense actually dropped some. You were bottom three for the period of time he was there. You bring in Pat Bev. You have Finch putting in a totally new system in training camp. You and Cat coming in, determined. Did that evolution come together early in your mind, or what were some of the steps that were most important in this process?
It was all a process. It was all a process. New coach, new system, new players. It was a process. Everybody wanted to see it blossom right then and there, but things take time. I mean, we're gifted offensively, so we thought it was going to click right away at the start of the season, and we saw how tough that was for us figuring that out. Once we figured things out, we see the product right now. But defensively, we had no identity. So when Pat came, he was a vocal, demanding, player. He demanded the best out of guys, demanded guys' energy. And I mean, how hard is it for you to show up? If you show up, you might as well bring the energy. And as simple as that, I think that's where we're having the mislaps, making it harder on ourselves by not having energy to start games or whatnot. So we just got to continue to stay on it, and I like where we're at.
How much do you feel that along those lines of kind of hitting that next level offensively has been about getting out in transition? It seemed like tonight you were really intentional about hitting up the floor, hitting the guys in the corners and that sort of thing. Is that what you felt has been the biggest boost offensively for this team?
Yeah, I mean, when we get stops and we get the run, I think we're a good team. When we get stops and we play defense, that's the reason we're a good team, not because we got a unicorn, number 32 or Ant special or myself. That's not the reason we're good. I think we got 12 guys, 15 guys that lock into what we got to do day in and day out. And if 2-3 guys aren't, we make it hard on ourselves. If everybody's locked in, I love our team.
We'll go to the last question on the Zoom. Christos, go ahead.
Hey, Dilo, hope you're doing well. Congratulations on the win. How special is this group from your perspective, and what is the ceiling of that team? Do you feel that you create a playoff caliber team this season?
What's the ceiling for the team? Do you feel like you're a playoff caliber team this year?
Yeah, I'm not really speaking on that. I always say one game at a time, one practice at a time, one film session, one team at a time. Simple as that. I'm not gonna, give you a quote to bring back in the future. I'm just gonna stay right here with it and on to the next one.
Awesome. Thanks, D'Lo.
This was one that you guys did have to grind out and kind of work your way through. Just, do you think that shows some growth that you guys are making as a group when you don't have it right away, but you're able to just kind of get the ones that you're not even particularly playing well in?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the last 2 games we kind of like grinded it out, like tough battle at the end, but we found a way. Sure.
What was not there early for you? While it was, while you guys were kind of struggling there, was it what they were doing defensively? Was it something else?
I don't think it's never what they're doing defensively. It's always me, like lack of aggressiveness. Just trying to take my time and I need to be aggressive. I realized that I just need to be aggressive and everything else will fall into place.
In the third quarter, when you did get going, it seemed like defensively is where you got a couple of steals and got out. Is that really what you're trying to do now, is just let your defense feed your offense that way?
Yeah, for sure, especially if I ain't got it going early on the offensive end. I know if I get a steal or if I have a big possession, like somebody trying to go one-on-one on me and I cut them off or something, I know that's going to get me going, so I try to do that.
How do you not let frustration sink in when nothing falls from 2 feet for you?
I don't know. I just found a way to get through it, man. I feel like who told me this last year? He was like, J.O. was like, great players always find a way. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be great, so I always try to just find a way to not get frustrated. And my confidence is at an all-time high, no matter what. No matter what's going on in the game, my confidence is through the roof. So at all times, I believe in myself.
When Karl has to leave with 4 fouls, is a switch turn on for you at that point? Because it seemed like you just took over the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, once big fella go out, then, it's time. For sure.
What that's happened against Miami, happening again now, when you know it's time, I don't know, do you just go into a different mode?
It's like a switch click in my head, all right, come on, let's get it. And I go from there.
Do you feel the energy that brings when you go on those little runs?
Yeah, for sure. I realize, once I get going, it's just the crowd just gets crazy. So, I mean, I like that.
Why do you think the crowd loves it so much when you get going? Because it goes to a different volume.
I don't know. I'm a people's person, man. You gotta love it. You got to.
I was gonna ask about that too. It's it seems like in the games when the crowd is up, it brings you up. And conversely, if it's a little bit more dead, those are maybe some of the more times as the lulls. I guess, one, is that true? And two, how do you just kind of handle that?
I mean, I really don't know, man. It brings a smile to my face knowing that soon I get going, everybody just starts standing up, get super loud. Once I hit that step back 3, it was so loud in there, bro. I'm like, damn, it was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I love it. I love the fans, man. I love to interact with them. I love the way that they bring energy. When we was down 11, they got loud. We hit 1 shot and everything else changed. The fans, they can win you basketball games for sure.
You talked about a month ago about how you need every guy on this team. We kind of took that as, there's some guys missing, and that's why, that Orlando game, you miss Pat Bev and you lose. But it kind of feels like, got Jalen going tonight, Leo, some other guy, Josh, who hadn't been in the rotation.
Yeah.
Does it work in that way too, where you need all those guys to kind of stay ready? Did you see that tonight? Those guys be ready to go?
Yeah, kind of like Golden State a couple of years ago where they had shirts that says strength in numbers, yeah. So, I mean, I kind of try to put that into our guys' heads, Vando out, Jaden out, next player, next person, come on, J.O., it's your time. TP is your time. Leo, Jalen, Nas came in,
quick 13. Like everybody, played a major role in this win tonight, and I mean they did their job. Like Coach came in and said, everybody was impacted the game.
Is that something you're intentional about at practice and in the downtimes? I mean, just watching pregame one time, you were just passing the ball or rebounding for McKinley Wright, and just kind of like maybe it's in those times where you build the confidence for those players for when they are out on the floor.
I'm more of a one-on-one talker. Like I talk to people at different times, and I feel like they listen more because it's just you and them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't talk much, so I feel like when I talk, everybody listens. Like, all right, come on. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really say too much. I just try to lead by my actions. But yeah, when I talk, I feel like everybody kind of listens for sure.
So during one of the timeouts, there was a segment where you had to name as many TV shows as you could in 15 seconds. You know what I'm referencing? One of the first shows you mentioned was Phineas and Ferb, and the people want to know, are you a Phineas and Ferb fan?
Yeah, for sure. Growing up, man, I watched a lot of Phineas and Ferb. My favorite show of all time is Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons, Martin. Like I said, I think Living Single. It's the Parker. Like I love the old school shows, man. They super funny.
All right, thank you.
We'll go last question to Jim on the Zoom.
Hi, and Jim Conlon here from RCB Radio Sport Ireland. And facing a deficit at halftime, 9 points down, what did you as players say to each other in the locker room?
What do you say to each other in the locker room when you're down at half?
I mean, it's halftime. We ain't really down. We're down at halftime. It's not the game not over. I mean, we got another what is it? 12 minutes, 24 minutes. Yeah, we got another 24 minutes. So, as we come out, I think our mindset coming out of halftime was to come out strong first 3 minutes, like, because the first 3 minutes can determine if we win or lose this game. Like if we don't come, because we didn't have no energy in the first half. So if we come out with energy, which we did, we kind of changed the game, and it was just that. But no, you're down at halftime. It ain't. You're saying the same stuff as if you was up, like trying to win. And I'm not looking at it like nothing. The game ain't over yet.
Thanks, Ant.
Yeah, sure.